Ladies, gentlemen, and budding future geniuses. Today, I wish to talk deeply on a topic close to my heart and probably with most of you in your minds and hearts closing. I think many of you would have seen the serial Suits, where it is about lawyers fighting with each other. But the pitch is not about who's the best attorney, but who's the best closer. I had seen that about three times, and it took quite a while. And after seeing a lot of DG's videos, that it's about closing, which is very important in a transaction of any magnitude, whether it is small or big. And this particular skill is not taught at all in all sales. It's always a lot of jargon saying it's a best in process. This is greatest thing about our process, the pitch, that pitch. And then we don't talk to customers on an even keel. We talk to them as if they are the kings and we are their servants. Closing is about talking on a level playing field, both of us, and especially the closer who's more keen on solving the customer's problem rather than just making a sale, rather than making a money, rather than thinking about himself. The approach to closing is pretty straightforward. You start off on an even keel, make the client talk, diagnose the problems by doing a deep dive after you're pretty well prepared, and then when the time is right, you close the deal. Closing the deal is not just like talking and then saying this is done. You lead the customer step by step by step. As you lead him by step, he builds the trust, he realizes the value you are bringing to the table, and subsequently makes the sale. This is the importance of closing. Now, exactly what are we taught? We are taught to write proposals, we spend tons of time. Is that closing? No. Why not? Customer has no time and neither do we have, but we do it only to satisfy our bosses. We write contracts, we make proposals. It's ton of a waste of time. But when you are having a face-to-face interaction or remotely over the phone, you are able to draw the customer out and find out his pain points exactly and your service if it fits there. If your product fits there, you have closed. If you don't close, it doesn't matter. You have learned a lesson, you move forward, take the lessons and move to another sale. You are not ruffled by it. You are poised, completely poised, even if you make the sale or you don't make the sale. You try to have a win win situation where you provide us the customers whether you are the best fit or your service is the best fit. That's all. If it doesn't happen, you care a damn. The attitude is more like a doctor. Supposing a patient comes to a doctor, what happens? The doctor doesn't get up from his seat and say out of the way says, "Oh my God, you have come, please sit. How are you?" All that. He just straight away goes to the root of the problem. Yes, what are your problem? What is your problem? What are the symptoms? He diagnoses it in a very clinical way. That is the approach. A doctor is not emotional. I think many of you would have seen Munnabai MBBS, right? The character which is played, that doctor is always unruffled. Unruffled. There is the emotionally is not disturbed by doing an operation. The same thing happens when a doctor does this. He examines the diagnosis is very thorough for any great doctor, and then he finds the root of the problem, gives a prescription or advises a set of tests as it deems fit. He doesn't go headlong to say, "Come, you have come," or says, "Thank you for the fees." No, it's understood. It's understood that the patient will have to pay the price for the service the doctor gives. Exactly in the same way, we do closing. Closing is a very spiritual element, if I could say that, because you have the best interest of the service in mind. And if it doesn't fit the customer, you say, "No, it will not fit your needs. I'll be happy to recommend somebody else." That's perfectly fine. One more thing in closing, which is very important, which I got enlightened, is that never accept this "get back to you." Get back to you means it's damned. You're gone. The deal is finished. He will not think of you. If the customer doesn't think of you when you are at your best and when he's listening mode, There is no guarantee that he's going to get a flash of enlightenment and then say, "Come on, I'd like to work with you." Most of the times, it never happens. One more point in closing the deal is you could very well say to the customer, draw him out and say, "You're perfectly fine if you say yes, and even more perfectly fine if it's no. I want to be comfortable with that, but just don't give back an answer that I'll get back to you. I need some time." A closer has got answers for everything. It preempts a customer from even raising objections. That's the value a closer brings to the table. So, brethren, I hope you join me in becoming a closer and probably a high ticket closer. Thank you.